Hello, happy Sunday. Hope you all have had a wonderful weekend and a great past week with your loved ones. We're going to wait just a few moments for Lauren to hop on, and then we will get going with this week's coffee corner. Got my coffee in my, you can call me Queen Bee mug. We're out of creamer, so it's black coffee. All right, we are going to get started. Just a minute to load.
Are we on? Can you hear me?
Technology, right?
Hi, Jordan. Can you hear me? Devin, friends. Are we here? Is this happening?
What are you guys drinking today? Oh, wait, it's not loading. Okay, let me cancel that. Lauren, I'm gonna try again. Let me see if it'll let me do it. There we go.
Okay. And then I was like being all weird. I'm like, oh my God, are people watching me right now?
I know. No worries. It was just like a black screen on my end. I was like, what is going on?
Yeah, you were just like buffering.
Uh-huh. Technology.
Yay, we're here.
Yay. So glad. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh my goodness, thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah. So I'll just share a little bit about me, and then you can kind of do an intro, and then let's just chat about
Okay.
business and life and all of the things.
Cool. Sounds good.
So for those who may not know me, my name is Jordan Lang. My correct pronouns are she, her, and I live in Ohio with my family. I'm an online business manager and business strategist and mom. I don't know if I mentioned that or not. That's a full-time job. And yeah, I love being able to just help support female entrepreneurs to share their medicine and create that ripple effect in the collective. So thank you, Lauren, for joining me. I know I've already said thank you, but you are one of my favorite people ever, and not just in the online space. Lauren and I actually know each other in person too. We only live like 45 minutes, maybe an hour away from each other, so we've gotten together to spend time in person as well. So feel free to go ahead and share a little bit about yourself and then what you do.
Yeah, and it's so wonderful to like meet your online people in real life. And what's funny is that Jordan and I are both quite introverted, so getting together is a little bit more difficult, but it works, you know. We do the hiking and all that good stuff. That's how you can always get me out of the house, is by asking me if I want to go to breakfast or go on a hike.
Yes, so good.
Yeah, but yeah, my name's Lauren. I'm also a mom, wife, all that good stuff. Pronouns she, her. I am a trauma-informed mindfulness and yoga teacher, and I do a lot of energy work as well. And the certifications I've obtained throughout the years is quite large. I started off as a personal trainer, group fitness instruction, then that led me into meditation and yoga. And then I got certified in cognitive behavioral therapy as well, just for that extra support and knowledge. But what I really enjoy doing is just helping people feel like at home in their body. So
Yeah.
strengthening that pathway into the body. So I use a lot of like somatic responses and somatic experiencing to really help to just create home in your body. So a lot of times our bodies are not a safe haven. And so we need to, like take our time to experience the PTSD, the painful memories that exist in our body, take them from the battlefield to a safe haven to feel and experience that wholeness. And that's
Yeah.
kind of always been what I've like honed in on, even since I became a personal trainer, was just like that was more so about helping women feel good in their bodies now, not
Mm.
when they lose the weight or when they gain the muscle or whatever, but now. And then it just sort of like went deeper as
Yeah.
I began to explore a bit more.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love that. And I know you and I have talked about your journey and like how you started as a personal trainer and just how you were like, this is not where I want to be. Like you said, you loved helping these women feel good in their bodies, but it was so like, well, explain how it felt for you or how it went for you.
Yeah, so corporate gyms is just I do not mesh well with them, and they don't mesh well with me. And maybe it's changed throughout the years. I haven't been in a corporate gym or worked for a corporate gym in about 8 years. So hopefully they changed a bit. But when I was working in them, it was a very strict protocol and program for each client. There really wasn't much wiggle room as far as how to train them. Each person was trained the exact same way. Just very strict, very masculine, very you have to do this and you cannot do that. And I'm just, no, that's not for me. And especially with women, we go through all 4 seasons each and every month. And so there's going to be times when we feel really strong and we want to jump around and do these intense workouts. And then there's other times of the month that we don't feel that strong and we just want to focus on our mobility, focus on stretching, just take it slower. And when I would try to provide the space for women, I remember at my last corporate gym job, he told me I was a fucking idiot. Like, he was like, you're
Oh
a
my
fucking
God.
idiot for doing these things. And I was like, mobility? Like, that's
Right.
stupid. And that was it.
Right.
I'm sorry. Am I allowed to swear on here?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. This
Yeah,
is
so
not
it
meant
was
for children's ears, so necessarily.
yeah, it was then that I was like, all right, I got to get out of here and just figure out my
Yeah.
own path, and for a while there, I just didn't know. I was so confused because I was so drawn. I was getting into Reiki and meditation and all of that. And I'm just like, well, none of this makes sense. I'm going back to bartending. And then I just kept getting woken up like in the middle of the night, like, you need to create this business. This will all work out together. And I was like, how?
Mm.
What? Where?
Yeah.
It didn't make
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
isn't that wild too? How like a lot of times the path doesn't make sense. Like logically, it's like it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But then when we follow intuition, she's never wrong. And so,
Right.
like you said, you just kept getting woken up and you're like, okay. And I'm sure you were afraid to do it. Like there's always that aspect of like, what if it doesn't work? Or I don't know how it's gonna work. But it's like just take those small steps and
Yeah.
follow intuition and see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm still like strengthening the connection between it all.
Yeah.
Like I am just now beginning to really take one-on-one clients to begin in January to like really use yoga, breath, movement, sound
Mm.
to really help strengthen that pathway home to the body. But for a while, I would just kept tiptoeing. I'm just like, this might be a little weird. This might be too much for people. Will this be accepted? But I'm just like, yes, it's here. It's here. We're just
Yeah.
gonna do it. It's not
Yeah.
traditional, but it's okay, right? We don't need traditional all the time. There's enough of that.
That's right. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And I feel like that's what sets you apart too, is you're able to integrate all of these different pieces that are all so beautiful by themselves. But then when you bring them together, it's like magical because you're not just
Yeah.
looking at like one aspect. It's a very holistic way of helping these women, like you said, feel at home in their bodies and be able to create that safe space for them to feel those traumatic experiences so that we
Mm-hmm.
can truly feel at home in our bodies. Because I mean, I'm sure you know this too. Like as a woman, it's like we're told by society, don't show your emotions, don't do this, don't do this, like follow this cookie cutter type of plan. And it's all bullshit. Like when a woman
Right.
is truly in her power at home in her body, like we're fucking powerful. So
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that men don't want that to happen because they're like, they know how powerful we can be. Like, I mean, maybe not consciously, you don't know that yet. Not everybody does, but yeah, so that's why I love the work that you do because I do think that it's so powerful in helping women to feel at home in their bodies, which is your purpose. So
Yeah. Thank you. And
yeah.
like this is like a really a big part of like the new age movement as well, right? Of like this whole idea of like the only purpose is to like seek this enlightenment and to just only feel the positive thought, and it can really get into
Mm,
the toxic positivity part of it. And I just like
yeah.
want everyone to know, no matter what, that it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to
Mhm.
feel it all. Everything belongs, at least in some capacity. Like
Yeah.
anger is actually an incredibly intelligent emotion. It tells you that there's a need that's not being met within you. And so if you really
Yeah.
took a moment the next time you were really angry, to take a moment to step back and be like, okay, what is my unmet need? You're going to see that it's like you feel like you're not being listened to, or there's a boundary or something. It's so intelligent. And we miss that by just trying to like think the positive thought and like, whoop, anger is wrong. It's wrong. I got to think positive. You're missing
Yeah.
your that chance for you to be like, okay, this is how to meet my own needs. This is how to show myself that like I'm there for myself.
Yes. Oh gosh, yeah, I resonate with that so much because I find the more inner child work that I do, the more like when usually those times when I'm angry and I sit with, okay, why am I angry? What's going on? Inner child is like screaming, like you said, like I'm not being listened to, or I don't feel safe, or this boundary has been crossed, and all of these different things where it's like before I was like you said, anger is bad, don't be angry, don't get angry, and it's like there's a very clear reason why we feel anger, and to not
Mm-hmm.
listen to it is to not be true to ourselves and what it is that we
Yeah.
need.
Yeah. Yeah. And if we keep trying to just like pretend it's not there, it doesn't go anywhere. It's just in your body, manifesting
Yep.
in very, very large ways that
Yeah.
it can create a lot of like dis-ease and disresonance within you.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I
So
like the new age
okay.
movement and law of
Yeah.
attraction, but there's a
Yeah.
line, you know? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Oh my gosh, I totally agree with you on that for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I'm sorry, what were you saying?
no, 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 you're fine. I was just gonna kind of shift into maybe, would you feel open to sharing? You shared your business journey, kind of where you started, where you are now. What would you say are some of your biggest struggles, biggest lessons? Like,
Uh-huh.
yeah,
Okay. Okay. Big Where
good
do I
question.
start? My biggest struggles, right?
Right.
Okay, my biggest struggle is definitely allowing myself to be seen and
Mm,
being seen in my very own energy. That was one of my biggest struggles. Was there was a moment where I did get like sidetracked kind of into the shiny objects, and really wanting to talk about money and scaling business and whatever, because, you know, and if you're somebody who is a coach of this, I'm no judgment, you know, but I know I was doing it because like that shiny object grabbed me, and I felt like, okay, this would be the best way for me to scale in my business. And that made me so unhappy. It didn't connect. I like lost myself for a bit there, but like I was able to navigate myself back and like sink even deeper into it. So I like kind of sidetracked there. So I guess that was my biggest lesson, is stay true to you no matter what. Money is a made up energy. So if you're constantly chasing money, you're never going to be fulfilled or happy. You can't allow a made up energy to be your fulfillment. You know, of course we all enjoy money. Like right now in our society, it's money that we need to survive, but it's made up. It's, you know, it's not the end all be all. And then, my biggest struggle has been being seen, just allowing myself like to just kind of go off the beaten path, to offer something that isn't really offered, to allow myself to kind of get weird, like on video, you know, like on YouTube and all that stuff, you know, like it's scary, right? But it just like, again, you just got to stay true to you. And to me, breath work has been one of the most amazing things to help me get out of my way and expand into that woman I'm here to be, and the message I'm here to share.
I love that. I love that. And breathwork, that's something that's relatively newer for you, right? Like within, I would say within the last, is it within the last year or 2 years?
Year. And it was this whole thing. Last year, I went through, you know, they call it, you know, I've heard it be called like an ego death kind of thing. I don't really know if that's what it was, but all I know is that like I couldn't stop crying for like 48 hours. It was like a good solid 2 days that I just like couldn't stop crying. And is also at the point where I was really just so afraid to be seen. And it really came to this crossroads of, all right, Lauren, either you step out of your box and you allow yourself to be seen and you do the shit, or you quit your business and you go and find, you know, you go to work for somebody else. Because this isn't cutting it. You can't run a business and keep yourself trapped and small. And so I literally was like on my knees, like, please help me. Please show me how I can get out of my way. And I don't even know how, but I ended up in like a breathwork webinar. Like, I don't even remember how I got in there or how I even stumbled upon it, because I had never done breathwork before. And I did it. And it was this most beautiful passive release. Like I released a lot. Like I bawled my eyes out. I felt a huge shift, but it was passive, which was really cool. I did it every day for a week. And then by the end of that week, I was signed up to become an instructor, because it was just like that. Whatever the hell was stopping me was moved out of me. It was amazing.
Oh, I love that. Honestly, I've done a little bit of breath work. I haven't done like anything consistently, but the breath work that I have done, like you said, it's so powerful, and it does move those like stagnant energies that you have in your body. And it's like sometimes too, you don't even realize that that's what it is until you move it out, and then you're like, oh my God, I didn't even realize I had that like heaviness in that space, or you know, there. It's super. I've heard people equate breath work to like taking drugs, but like without like the bad side effects, you know what I mean? Like you get this almost this high of just that energy being moved and like tuning into your body. And it's wild. The times that I've done it, I'm like, this is magic. Like this is crazy.
It is. It can be very trippy, very kind of like that psychedelic, but it's amazing. It's not scary. You know, you're still completely in control.
I wonder too, there's a part of me too that's like, do I feel this way because my body's actually getting enough oxygen? Like, we are like shallow breathers, you know, like we don't really take in that much oxygen each day. Not how we should. So I think a lot of it too is like our body is like, thank you for this oxygen.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for feeding my body like the way it was
Right?
supposed to. Absolutely. Oh my gosh, that's one of my like biggest pet peeves when it comes to doctors is like when
Mm,
people go to their doctor for any sort of like irregular thing going on in their body,
yeah. Yeah.
anxiety, things like that. Like, and of course, I understand medications are needed for some people, but some people, I feel like we could talk about how you're breathing,
Yeah.
like if you just
Yeah.
learned how to breathe properly, I bet you like a lot of people who feel really anxious actually would
Yeah.
feel a lot better.
Yeah. Well, I know
it's
yeah, for
it's
me
beautiful.
personally, when I'm in those moments of high anxiety and everything else, I ground myself and I tune into my breath and I just take several deep breaths and I feel so much better because
Yeah.
it's needed, like yeah. Because when I'm anxious, I forget to
Mm.
breathe. I really do.
Right.
So
Right.
I think it's
Yeah.
super important for
Yeah.
sure. For sure.
You
Yeah.
feel yourself all tensed
So
up.
yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's a lot, especially now in this time that we live in, for sure. So that's
Yeah.
kind of my next question for you is what sort of advice would you give to women now in the times that we're experiencing? Like, what are some things that they can do to just kind of move through it and find home within our bodies? I don't want you to give away too much because I know that this is something that, you have your membership for and your one-to-ones and everything else.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, what sort of things can we start doing to kind of feel that way now?
Yeah. Well, meet yourself day by day, moment by moment,
Mm,
and know 100% that it's okay to not be okay. Explore your emotions, especially the heavy emotions. They're okay to be there. I don't like,
mm,
and so when I say heavy and light, I meaning like negative, positive, but I don't really believe that there's negative emotions. So I
yeah.
call it heavy and light, just so we all know. So when you are feeling those heavy emotions, investigate it. Where is it in your body, and what is it trying to tell you? What is the unmet need, especially when you're feeling that wall up, the anger, the resentment, the judging? What is the unmet need there? And
Yeah.
also, honestly, start a yoga practice. So this is something that's inspired the crap out of me to really bring yoga into my one-on-ones and a lot more into my membership, is because after just 10 weeks of a steady yoga practice, people suffering from PTSD and trauma survivors have experienced so much relief within their bodies
Mm,
when other modalities, medications, and treatments did not work. So
wow.
yoga is such a beautiful way for you to be able to create agency in your body and find like that self-regulation. And that creating
Yeah.
agency is just learning how to be in your body, to feel what you feel and to know what you know without going into complete collapse or shame
Mm,
or overwhelmment. So just
yeah.
day by day, showing up for you and meeting yourself where you're at, like allow every emotion to be there. Like when you're feeling that
Mhm.
ecstatic joy, be in the ecstatic joy. And when you're feeling
Yeah.
the heavier emotions, how can you be there for yourself? And like
Mm,
just like how we have all four seasons of Mother Earth, and they each have their own gift, right? Like especially we think about winter, resting,
yeah.
comforting ourselves. I love to think that about our emotions as well, because when we're feeling really happy, joyful, blissful, we're more so extroverted, and we're creating. Even
Mm,
if we're introverted, we're creating more. We're doing all the things, right? And
yeah.
so if we never felt those heavy emotions, we would never take that time to pause, to take the baths, to rest, to maybe just like watch your favorite movie or TV show or read
Mm,
a book, or just like just the same way that we have winter to rest, we can have those heavy emotions to rest as well.
yeah. Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love that so much. And it's simple, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily easy, but
Our
but it's
emotions have
super
seasons.
simple.
Thanks for catching that. I love
Yes.
that. I'm going to save that.
Yeah, yeah, that's so good. And it's so true. How are you, like, there's a reason and a purpose for every emotion that we feel, just like there's a reason and a purpose, like you said, for each season. And there is beauty within each aspect, even in those heavier emotions, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I recently read something that it's in those heavy emotions that art is created and that we can deepen our love for ourselves, you know? And if you really think about that, yeah, like a lot of my best writing comes from experiencing the heavy emotion and like allowing my like sitting with myself and being with myself as I'm moving through it, however long it takes. It doesn't matter, you know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's so much beauty in it. And like even as soon as I started speaking a lot about this, just kind of getting louder about, okay guys, new age movement, it's cool and all, but let's like stop pretending that we're always supposed to be high vibe and, you know, good
Yep.
vibes only. People were reaching out to me. They're like, thank you so much, because I have anxiety and I have depression and I always just felt like I wasn't good enough because I
Yeah.
couldn't always just be in this aligned space. And
Yeah.
it's so true. Like it's just okay to be where you're at. Like you're not doing anything wrong. You're not creating a suffering future. Like you're just being a human.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I love to, I think the more that we share with others when we have those heavier emotion times, the more that we're reaching other people and telling them that it's okay for them to feel those things too.
Yeah.
Because we do live in this like high vibes only and, choose positivity and everything else, which
Mm-hmm.
yes, let's choose gratitude instead of
Yeah.
positivity because you can still
Yeah.
choose to be grateful in spite of or in the midst of these heavier emotions, but that doesn't mean that they're wrong or that they're bad. I know in the past I've shared and I've had family members text me and say like, I'm really sorry that you're going through such a hard time, and and I'm like, you don't have to feel sorry for me. Like I'm not sharing that for that, feedback or that comfort or anything else. Like I need to experience this right now for a reason. I don't know what that reason is yet, but I know I'm going to find out. Like there's a lesson in each aspect of our emotions.
Yeah. And I love that you always share so openly and honestly about what you're going through. Like from your stories to your posts, you keep it real all the time. And I love it. You know, I remember one time, I think it was even like in our little pod that we had, that you were just like, I often talk about how much I don't know.
Yes.
It was something that you said. And I was like, it's so great though. Like you're just so open and honest about being a stay at home working mom.
Yeah.
Especially in
Yeah.
these times. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot. I just love how you're just always so honest about it. It's awesome.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Especially right now, this shit is hard. Whenever I see these moms like, I'm so glad my kids are home. I'm like, you are not my people. Like, lots of love to you,
No,
but you are not my people.
I'm like, you don't have a life?
Right? Right? And I
You
mean,
don't like to like do other things?
some people love having their kids home all of the time. That's just not me. It's just not
Mm,
me.
mm-mm. No.
Love my kids to death, but it's like, I need space.
Yeah. Recently, my son's school went back online full time, and I'm just like, no. I know. Are we
Oh my
losing each
God.
other?
I'm
Oh,
still here. Are
you're
you
just a
still there?
little spotty. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm still
Okay.
here. You're just a little,
Is it like laggy?
spotty.
Okay.
Yeah, just a
Cool.
little bit.
All
I can
right.
still hear you.
Awesome.
Cool.
Well, let's kind of wrap things up. Let's wrap it up with and kind of end with, well, two things. The first, let, why don't you share maybe, I don't want to say maybe, like, do you have any advice to anybody who is maybe just starting their business or just starting into a yoga practice or into sort of the areas that you work in? maybe any pieces of advice that you would share. I know you kind of already shared that with, meet yourself day by day and everything else. So just any final words on that, I guess, since you already shared that.
Yeah, yeah. So if you are starting a business right now, we can't lie, right? It's tough. It's tough out there. You really have to create that space for yourself every single day to show up and connect with you and with the divine, whatever the divine is for you. And just connect with your purpose, because that's what's going to really help you to stay true to you. Don't be afraid to experiment. Don't be afraid to, bring together perhaps a variety of things. Like I said, I started off as personal trainer and becoming certified in Reiki and meditation. Like it didn't make sense to me because all I knew was the very masculine structured side of corporate gyms. So don't be afraid to like get weird and put yourself out there. And then whatever you are offering, I believe fully, like, cause to take your own medicine by filling yourself back up. So if you are if you're looking to be a full-time yoga teacher, or if you are a coach or a therapist, or you give Reiki, or whatever it is that you do, make sure you also receive it. Like show up to your own practice of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I love that. That's super important for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Every time I start to get kind of like lagged with giving Reiki, I know that I need to receive it. And then it's like almost like that inspiration and the desire to give it comes right back.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. Awesome. Well, Lauren, how can people connect with you? What offers do you have going on right now, or how can people work with you?
Yeah, so I have a membership. It's very low cost. It's $25 a month, no contracts. The beginning of every month, there's a new theme with breathwork, meditations, yoga flows, somatic experiences, all that really great stuff. And through today, it's 50% off. And I am donating half of those proceeds to the Native American Arts Fund, just keeping like that alive. And also, I'm always accepting sliding scales. That's been one of my biggest things this year is like, how can I be of the utmost service? And I've always been met with this, like, okay, offer sliding scales. So if you are really desiring that kind of support, either in my membership or to work with me one-on-one, don't let your funds stop you. If we feel like we would work together really well, I'm here to support you always. And then I am opening spots to work one-on-one beginning in January. So right now through all December, I'm going to be, taking applications and getting to know people and just seeing how we would work best together. And then we'll start together one-on-one in January. And again, sliding scales available for that too.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much, Lauren, for being here and chatting with me.
Thank you, Jordan. This is great.
Super, super grateful for you. And we'll have to get together soon for another hike.
Yes, snow hike.
Yeah. Yes. If it ever snows in Ohio, who knows?
I hope it does. I know. I know.
I know. All right. Well, thank you again and have a beautiful day.
You too. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.